What is going on, beautiful people?
How y'all doing? What's up? I'm Nia Renee from How to Love a Battered Woman, also known as Baldie.
And I am Lee Hammock, known as Mental Illness Everywhere, better known as the Beast right now.
What's going on with you? How you feeling?
I'm doing pretty good, y'all. Welcome to the Baldie and the Beast podcast. We here podcast. chatting it up. I am blessed. How you feeling today, Miss Nia?
I'm
Nia
chilling. Renee, yeah, no, you good. I'm chilling.
I be dropping to Renee sometimes. I was like, it's like, it's just like, am I disrespecting you?
Nah, you good, Beast, you good. No, I'm chilling. I'm living. It's been an eventful couple weeks for both of us. So we chilling, we vibing, but we here with another podcast today. We are going to be talking about how women do not take men's mental health seriously.
Yes. Is that true? I know people are going to see this and they're going to be like, well, that's true. That's true. It is true. I feel you. I feel you on that, bro. Because like, honestly, there's a lot of people would put that out there. There's a lot of examples of that happening right now. I think the most recent ones are. I seen a meme the other day. It was a meme of Tyrese Gibson, Will Smith, and Kanye West crying. Have you seen that meme?
Yes.
It's like these men poured their heart out in front of everybody, and women laughed at them. I was like, it was a man sharing the post. It was a man sharing the meme. The man created the meme for it. So I'm just like, or he took credit for it. So, me personally, as a cisgender black man in America, for me, I think that women actually value most women that I've encountered on my journey, because I have over 2 million people that follow me across social media, and 90% of them are women. Yeah. So if 90% of women are following me, not because I'm pandering to them, I know y'all gonna say, because you pandering to them. That's why you're just trying to sleep with them.
You're
really
just trying to get on their side. I see the game you on. Yeah, I'm trying to do.
Yeah. Underneath this is a pandering tank top. I'm pandering. That's my next shirt right there.
It's gonna be just make it a meme, or not a meme, but like a picture of a panda, and then just put ring next to it.
That's a good one.
You're welcome.
That's a good one. That is a good one. Panda ring. Yeah. But yeah. So it shocks me, because that's a lot of the comments I get, because I got literally 90% or more or less. It's more. It's kind of wavering. I would say 90% across my platforms are women. Yeah. You know what I mean? So if I got 2 billion people, 90%, that's 1.8 million women that follow me. But there's still 200,000 men, which I think is pretty good, honestly. Yeah. But I think because I have so many women that follow me, that shows that they care about a man talking about his mental health. Because my platform is geared towards that. You follow me because of that. You see that dynamic and whatnot.
No, I only follow you because you're pandering. So.
Oh yeah, this is one of my pandering victims. She got caught in the ring.
I got caught in the ring. I don't follow you for any other reason than. I mean, I think it's crazy. I was actually looking at my demographics, like on Facebook and Instagram a couple of days ago, and I think I'm at like 75% of my audience are women, 25% are men. So I feel like I'm pandering to the men now too. Sarcasm, but I think that I just. I don't agree. I feel like women spend so much time trying to identify what's going on in the mind and the mentality of a man, especially the man that they're with, for people to say that they don't care about men's mental health. I think it's a cop out, or I think it's used as what's the word I'm looking for? Like, I think it's used as like a scapegoat. Like, I feel like they use that when they're trying to gaslight somebody. Like, see, I told y'all they don't care about men's mental health, and And it's like, okay, I think they just be using that shit as an excuse, in my personal opinion.
A lot of them do, because I have friends in my own personal life, because they see my journey, they see my therapy journey, and they've known me before I went through therapy. So they've seen me go from, out here just being the emotionally abusive man that I was for. Sorry. The emotionally abusive man that I was for a very long time, to multiple women, and to my kids, just to everybody around me. It wasn't just them. Everybody got a piece. It wasn't just centered towards my wife and my kids. Everybody got a piece of who I was, They see me go through that, and they see my people go through that, and they see me now being an advocate for the stuff against the stuff that I used to do. And I think it surprises them. And they think I'm being fake. They think I'm pandering. They was like, man, I know you. I know the real you. And I'm like, look, you ain't really hung with me in 6 years. So you knew the real me.
Yeah.
You knew the real me, but you don't know me now.
You don't know me
and what
anymore.
I stand for and what I'm doing right now. It's just like, I've been saying the same thing for 3 years now. It's just like, I feel like I would have slipped up by now. It's just like, oops, I'm faking, but like me personally, my platform is dedicated towards like, you scroll back to my very first video on TikTok. I was on my way to therapy.
Yeah.
And I was just talking to my therapist about this the other day. I was on my way to therapy and I was just like, I'm tired of feeling like this. I'm tired of holding this stuff in. I'm gonna vent it. I'm already in therapy. Let me vent it. I feel like I'm hiding my therapy. So I was just like, hey guys, my name is Damon and I do have a mental illness. It's called narcissistic personality disorder. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm on my way to therapy right now. My platform is geared towards getting more men into therapy to help more men realize what they have going on and that it's okay to not be okay. But it's also not okay to treat people badly because of what you have going on inside of your head that you bottled up. You take out on the people closest to you. I'm an open book. Let me know if you have any questions. And that's the start of my platform. Literally. Yeah. I said, I'm gearing this platform towards men.
Yeah.
There's a few men that follow me like, man, I love this man, black man. Talking about this, you know what I mean? And that's why if there's because I honestly felt that way too. I felt like wasn't a lot of resources for men. I have felt that. I used to think that like you don't see any men talking about it unless they're celebrities. You know what I mean? Unless it's a celebrity that goes through a mental health crisis and now they're talking
like
about
something big happens and like it's all
late.
In the media and it's I agree. But I feel like also too like in the African American community, it's such a big stigma to even like I think we touched on this a little bit on our last podcast, but I think a lot of it's like, oh well, if you see a man crying or if you see a little boy crying or getting upset, they immediately get told like stop being a bitch. Like how is that fair? How is it fair that men are only allowed to show emotions that it's either anger or happiness? Like they don't get, there's no in between. So how is that an acceptable response? Even though those are emotions, but I feel like it's such a scapegoat, right? Especially if you see, I guess that meme of like Will Smith when he was on Red Table Talk and they were doing the whole thing with Jada and talking about August Alsina and all of that, and it's like okay, but they're talking about this on a public platform, but he did his dirt too already. Like so, like it's not like what I'm saying, we're not making fun of him because he's. But you're right. Men are the one who started the memes. Men are the one who started,
They clowned him for being a simp. They're like, you a simp, bro. They clowned him for being a simp. They did just like.
And then they paint it as women when it's like y'all are the ones who are really the ones that can't like. Y'all are the ones that are making fun of this and then trying to make it seem like women are the ones that are making fun of it. And it's like, no, you're making fun of it because it's an uncomfortable thing for you to identify with.
Yeah, a lot of men make fun. Some women share the meme too. I ain't gonna lie to you.
I mean, women do share the meme too.
Yeah, they share it and laugh
at it
too. Because it was kind of comical because they put different words on top of all of them. Yeah, so yeah, but like in the grand scheme of things, I think that a lot of men saw that and put themselves in Will Smith's shoes, and instead of reacting logically, they immediately went to anger. You know what I mean? I would have beat her ass. I would have did this. Ain't no way in the hell I would have. I would have turned over the red table. You know what I mean? The red table, I would have flipped it over.
I would have flipped that. Yeah.
I would have flipped that damn table over and got after her. You know what I mean? It's just like, there's a lot of people who, and like I said, again, that's how my mind would work the same type of way because that's my first reaction is anger. Like literally, my first reaction to defend myself, to defend my pride and my ego is anger, right? And like, that's why I started working out because I'm gonna be big and strong to take my anger out on people, to make sure that I could, to make sure that the bigger I got, the more anger I could, take out on people. I just like to protect myself better. So I started working out because of that. You know what I mean? So it got to that point where I started trying to protect myself more by working out. Just like, well, my ego is so small, so fragile. I need a bigger shell to cover it up,
Yeah.
And so anger was still the first response. Anger, like, how would I respond right here? Oh, I would be mad. There's no way in hell I would let my wife go out here and do this type of stuff. But apparently wasn't he allegedly doing some dirt too?
Yeah, he was already doing his dirt on the side. I mean, I feel like I don't even know if it's like them doing his dirt on the side. I feel like they have a different type of relationship that's not conventional for a lot of people. And
Yeah.
so maybe they could have been on a break, or he had a hall pass, or he was doing whatever, you know what I'm saying? And so,
Yeah.
but his wasn't publicized. And the only reason why Jada's situation was publicized was because August said something. If August didn't say anything, then the world would have never known that situation happened.
Yeah. The definition of entanglement. Seen you in them sheets. Hey, capitalize on it. You got to do what you got to do.
Hey,
yeah.
Yeah.
Just like,
I mean, it is what it is.
Come out?
Huh?
Didn't he just like? Didn't he have a boyfriend or something like that?
I don't know. I think that was his best friend.
Oh, his best friend. Oh, okay.
I
just saw him hugging or something like that. To each their own. If you got a boyfriend,
do your thing. Hey, more
do your
power
thing. Do your thing, Bo. We are all inclusive over here. It'd be weird not to be.
But what do you feel like is the biggest argument that gets posed when it comes to talking about men's mental health? It's like, because obviously they say women don't take men's. Why do you think that's a thing that is said? Why is that stated, that women don't take men's mental health seriously?
Because I think a lot of people say that, you're supposed to be the man. I think a lot of people get into their head the normal, like, patriarchal roles of, like, the society has set upon you. Like, men are supposed to be big and strong to defend the house or whatever. You're not supposed to cry.
Yeah, but why can't a man have emotions? Like,
I'm just telling you, hey, because you get shamed for having emotions. Like we were saying earlier, it starts off in childhood typically, where you start crying. It's like, I'm gonna give you something to cry for. Buck up. Stop being a bitch. You know what I mean? Just stop being a little girl crying or whatever. So the tears, you're not only sucking up the snot, you sucking up the tears. The tears going up to you. So everything going back up, and the tears get bottled up, and they come out.
But I feel like it's teaching such a bad.
It is.
It's already teaching someone to not be able to release their emotions.
It is. It is absolutely teaching people not to be able to release their emotions because of release of emotions other than anger and rage are frowned upon. If you're crying, you are viewed as a weak man. That's just by some people. Typically, there's a lot of men who view it, but there's some women who do that same thing, who do that same dynamic. They do look at men crying, just like, oh, you got to buckle up. I can't.
Yeah, that's how my mom was with my brother. She was like, stop being a little bitch. Like, why are you crying? Like, stop being like that. Like, you acting like a little girl right now. Like that makes me so mad, because then when they're turn around and it's the same type of person that's like, oh, well, there's no men out here that care about people. There's no men out here that care about women and their feelings. And they're always just so angry all the time. And it's like, but you raised them to be that way. So you can't be hypocritical. Like, you're literally told them not to be that way. And now you're upset and mad that they're not that way. Yeah.
But it's just that stems from childhood. It's just like, literally that mindset is literally passed down from generation to generation and generation.
I had a few men recently on Facebook thank me for the things that I talk about.
Yeah.
And I know that, like, recently I kind of changed from saying like women and men and just kind of saying like they and them and people so that people have a better, it's easier to feel like you're more identified. I mean, obviously I know my platform is called How to Love a Battered Woman. It's only called How to Love a Battered Woman because I can only speak from a woman's perspective. Yeah. That's the only reason why it's called that. But I feel like I've had a lot of men thank me recently for talking about this, because they're in relationships with, a woman who had been in a previously abusive relationship before. And they're trying to figure out how to navigate and help them and love them. And, I'm giving them examples, and they see how I am with my husband. So I think it's really interesting now seeing the dynamics change of what the quote unquote definition of a man really is, when you see that there's so many different types of men, masculine men, there's femme men, there's non-binary, there's all of these other different realms. And I think that, my generation, our generation is we're so different than all of the boomers and the people that came before us, because I feel like everybody was in such a box. And now I feel like there's so many different ways for people to express themselves. And I think that it's incredible seeing men be so open about who they are. I don't know if you watch any of like the stupid reality TV shows like Love is Blind and The Perfect Match, but
somehow, so I don't know. I don't know how this happened, but I literally on the way when I was on the way to my office got caught up in some of the perfect match drama with Dom.
Yeah, with Dom.
And Harry
So Dom is probably I followed Dom before I knew he was on the Perfect Match. I didn't know he was on any reality.
I didn't
TV
either.
shows.
I just saw him pop in the doorway with his black nails and his skirt on,
back
his
again. Yeah. Luda. Yeah, exactly. Dom. So I've always loved him in general, but then seeing him on the Perfect Match and seeing him, he was crying because he was hurt because Francesca, messed him over, and he expressing himself, and
he had a couple mess him over. Didn't Georgia do the same thing?
Well, Georgia did afterwards, so we didn't see, didn't see all of
dogged.
that. But yeah, he was getting dogged, and it's just like he is so sweet. Like he is very true to himself. He's very
I'm glad
much.
You said that though. I'm glad you said that he's so sweet, because that right there would be a turnoff to some people.
No,
you heard that to some people. Just like that sweetness is a turnoff to people. It's like he's too nice.
Which is a weird dichotomy, because I feel like so many people are like, I'm so tired of falling for the bad boys. I'm so tired of being with the bad boys. But then they see a sweet man like that, and they're like. But I think that, so this goes back to when I was in, when I first, like we talked about kind of about on our last podcast, where it was like, oh my God, I'm scared that this relationship is boring, in the sense of there's no drama, there's no trauma there. You know what I'm saying? So I think a lot of people in the sense think that way as well, because it's not, but we still have, we still have so much fun in our relationship. But Dom is like the number one person I think we could discuss right now when it comes to men's mental health, and men being able to express themselves, and men being just, being able to have that soft, sensitive side without them being called a bitch. Like, but there's nothing about that man that they still call it.
You wouldn't call him that.
I would not call him that.
I know you wouldn't call him that. I wouldn't call him that either. 'Cause I don't care. Me and him would be cool. You know what I mean? But there's a lot of people out there who's like, whoa, he got his nails painted. I would have left him. I would have left him for Harry too. That's what he get. You know what I mean? It's just like, she needs a masculine man that's going to go out there and hunt and cut down a tree with an axe if she need him to. But I don't think Harry would. He don't seem like the type of dude that would do that either, because he'd be posting some questionable, But to each of them, I was like, I just got in on the last part of the drama.
But listen, I'm pansexual, so I'm attracted to so many different types of things. So I feel like when I saw him, and like with the nail polish, and then like, I saw him on the show, but he was still like, he did like 27 push-ups with, Francesca on his back, and it was so hot. And then he was just like, but I don't know, like, it's just, I don't know. It's just like, but I'm also very much like over that whole, like, man, you know what I mean? Like it was very refreshing for me to see somebody who had a different side to them. Yeah. And didn't feel like a dick swinging contest.
Yeah. Like so I understand the dynamic right there. So just me being just a cisgender, man, when I first saw him, I was like, who would be attracted to that? You know what I mean? Yeah. The dress on, the black nails and shit like that, the lipstick. I was like, who would like that? And then I talked to my wife, my wife's best friend was like, he's so hot. I'm like, and she talked to me. I was like, okay, I get it. So, because I'm not attracted to it, I assume that other people shouldn't be as well.
Other people wouldn't be.
You know what I mean? Because like it makes me question. Like I think sometimes you see stuff like that, it makes you question your manhood. Like, my man, for real? Like, what is it? You know what I mean? But he's legit. Like I said, me and him would be cool. Like me and him would be cool as fuck. I like his personality. I like he fuck with Drew Afualo. He fuck. I'm like,
I
was like, he fuck with her. I was like, okay, he cool. He's
you
know what I mean? He's cool. I was like, I would fuck with him. But like again, just being in my mindset, that's the first thought to come to my head. So I have to, because I've been in therapy so long, I can process that. It's just like, what is going on inside of me that makes me feel this way about this man right here? Because because I wouldn't wear that. That makes him less than me. No, it doesn't though. You know what I mean? Because I wouldn't dress like that, because I don't express myself by painting my nails. Yeah, I got long hair. People think I'm feeling it because I got longer hair. You see what I'm saying? Because they wouldn't see themselves with long hair. He's a feminine man because he has long hair. You know what I mean? That type of dynamic right there, so it makes you question your internal reality.
But I think that comes with being self-aware. Yeah. becomes a part of being able to look at yourself and be able to take a deeper look within yourself and try to identify, why is this bothering me so much?
Yeah. Yep.
And I think that's why it kind of ties back into the conversation about men's mental health. Why does it bother you so much to see a man feeling his feelings? Why does it bother you so much why does it cause so much outrage within yourself when you see a man saying, that hurt my feelings, or that hurt me, or I experienced this, or he's crying, or he's expressing how it feels? That's something that you need to identify within yourself. It's nobody else's concern. And don't try to push that onto other people because you don't know why you feel that way. Like,
yeah, exactly. So that mindset in that dynamic, because like I said, it made you question. Like I had to ask, I can slow down and ask myself those questions. Other people just express themselves with rage. They get rage. They get in the comment sections. They start talking shit, and they projecting their own inner insecurities.
People be fighting for their lives. They do. They do. And I just like fighting for their lives.
Yeah, that's that weirdo shit though. But like,
it's so just weird.
It is. I just like, I could not see myself just going back and forth in somebody's comment section just
over somebody that doesn't even know you exist.
Yeah, over somebody else. I'm just like, what are y'all like? I'm just like, okay. You know,
like someone said to me the other day, they were like, I think it's just so degrading that you refer to your mother as your birth mother. And I was like, that sounds like a you problem.
Yeah, she said it. She started off with I. I.
What do you want me to do? Like, that sounds like a you problem.
That's definitely, like I said, I. When you start off with I, you are centering yourself in that conversation. You know what I'm saying? But it's back to the topic of I know we got off topic a little bit out, but it's all ties in. It all ties together. It really does, because like I said, a lot of people have issues with how other people dress and stuff like that, and just like expressing themselves. Like men have been, like a lot of men have been conditioned to therapy is bad. Therapy dressing different is bad. Express to yourself not only your emotions, but how you feel about yourself inside. Express yourself in any kind of creative way is bad. You need to go to work and take care of your family. You need to go hunt. And in today's society, hunting is going to the factory and working from 8 to 3 or 9 to 5, whatever you have going on,
or 12-hour days, 16-hour days.
Yeah,
to provide.
Just to provide. I think a lot of people see that dynamic right there, and they hear a man is supposed to protect and provide. You hear that dynamic, and I think people get lost in it's more. You can protect and provide, but like, what do you provide? It's not just financial substance. Right. It's also emotional. You have to provide emotional comfort as well. Yes. And a lot of people don't even do that with their kids. I'm providing a house. I'm providing money. What are you providing other than that? What do you need from me?
What more do you want from me? Or like parents say, like, oh, well, I put a roof over your house, over your head, and I put clothes on your back, and I put food on the table. Okay, but
nothing else matters. You should
verbally abuse the shit out of me.
Yeah, write off everything else. Because like I said, I had a good friend. I don't really fuck with him like that no more, because he on some more weirdo. Again, this is a different one. On some more weirdo shit with his kids. And I talked to him. Me and him was going back and forth. We've been friends for a long time, like 20 years. Yeah, going back and forth for a long time. Like, we was going back and forth, and I was like, bro, you need to go to therapy. Like, literally go to therapy. Man, I don't trust therapy, man. Therapy. Like, this is black man to black man, grown man to grown man, parent to parent, friend to friend. You need to go to therapy and let this bullshit out that these emotional issues that you have with your parents growing up, with your dad growing up. You need to go to therapy and let that out, because it's affecting your ability to actually be a parent in your real life, your kids' real life. Because I'm around his kids. I know his kids. I know the emotional stuff, the emotional damage he does to his kids. I'm a grown man. I see the emotional damage that people do to their children. Especially when I'm around, I watch the kids cry. My dad doesn't love me, care about me. So I check him. I'm like, bro, go to therapy. Yeah, I don't need to go. Man, I tried therapy. Therapy ain't for me. I can do it on my. As soon as a person says that they can do it on their own, they can heal their trauma on their own. Sure can. I immediately log out. Yep. You cannot heal your trauma on your own. So many men, they can do the shit by themselves. Like, I can heal it on my own. I don't need therapy. I can do it on my own. I can fix myself. No, you can't. You can't, because a lot of times you don't want to dig deep and understand the actual issues that you have within yourself. Yeah, you want to dig deep and actually understand what's going on, where you came from, what you actually went through in your childhood that you carry over into your adulthood, that you're passing down to your kids. And this is not just my old homeboy. This is so many men that I know. I'm like, bro, stop, chill, go to therapy. I don't want to go to therapy. Blah, 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 blah. And my therapist, like I told you earlier, my therapist is a white woman. I was like, my therapist is a white woman. Oh, so y'all ain't want to talk to her. Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, man, all right, bro. And I log out. I'm like, okay, all right. I can see it's useless talking to some people.
Sometimes it's hard because it's like you can't help somebody that doesn't want to help themselves.
Yeah, exactly. And I tell these people every single day. And it's just like, and it gets to my point. I was like, okay, I can't, you can't save everybody. Don't save them.
Don't save us.
They don't want to be saved. You know what I mean? Because seriously, I was like, go to therapy, get some help. This is not just a man woman thing. Women, go to therapy, get some help too if you feel like
for real.
If you feel in your soul.
Therapy. I mean, I know that there's not a lot of resources out there, and I wish there were a lot more resources out there to help people. In there,
people got to see the resources. I believe that statement for a long time, but like there are resources out there that you can people find you. I'm struggling with my mom. My mom did this. They can Google some shit. How to love a battered woman. What's this about?
Yeah, my
birth mother tried to get me kidnapped. Whoa, what's the story?
Yeah, I mean, no, that's true.
Yeah, I'm just saying, but it's so much more available now than it was in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s,
true.
90s.
In the 90s when we were growing up, like now it's like you can just get on TikTok and see your favorite.
So I believe what you said. You wish there were more resources.
I wish there were more financial resources for people to be able to go to therapy and talk with the therapist, because I know a lot of times that there are resources out there. It's just people aren't taking the time to look further into it.
You got to go deep. You got to dig deeper. When I first found out I was fucked up, I've been knowing I was messed up for a long time. But when my wife first called me a narcissist and she left, I looked it up, and I had hit my rock bottom. I was broke. Mm-hmm. I wasn't in school. I was just not where I wanted to be at in life, And they said therapy is the only way to fix a narcissist, the only way to help a narcissist. Like, yo, shit, I can't, you know what I mean? Yeah. I can't even pay the bills here. We going 50-50 on every damn thing. We both work. So I'm going to allocate an extra $150, $200 a month to sitting in the therapist's office for 50 minutes. I'm gonna do that. You know what I mean? So the first thing I did on my journey is I joined some self-aware narcissist Facebook groups. I joined some men's mental health stuff. I was joining pages to see what people were saying, to see if people were actually in there feeling like me, and they just so happened to be posting stuff that I could have posted. Did I post that? Oh no, there's another man posting that right there. Yeah. Like, damn, these people get me. I'm not out here by myself. And I think a lot of times you get into this dynamic where you feel like you're by yourself, that nobody else understands you. But I got into those groups. I was like, damn, so many people understand me, because so many people say the same shit I would say. Yeah. So you got to seek it. Yeah. Even if you don't have the financial resources, seek it.
I feel like a lot of people say that on my page. They're like, I'm just so glad I found you. I feel a lot less alone. Just finding your people or finding your environment or your group or whatever can change your life in so many different ways. It's just being able to find a safe space that's for you. And I think that's where the myth comes in, that women don't value men's mental health. It's like, personally, like, I have created such a huge space for my husband to be able to process his emotions, his feelings, talk to me about whatever he wants to. We have a lot of women create these spaces and these safe spaces for men to have that, but they don't take that opportunity because they're like, I don't want to be a little bitch.
You don't want to be a little bitch. I was going to say the exact same statement right there.
Yeah. I don't want to be, I don't want to be a bitch. Yeah. You out here, that's some, you want some pussy shit. Like, that's stupid.
You hop on somebody's podcast and they'll say it. You're like, don't share your feelings with your wife. Yeah. Don't share your feelings with your girlfriend. Be a man. Suck it up. What? What?
Can you do that again?
Don't express your feelings to your wife. Instead, bottle it up and beat her ass later. What?
No, that's facts. I've literally heard people say some off the wall shit like that, and it's like it does not make any sense. It's like, I'm not gonna say I'm just gonna hold it in, and then she's just gonna piss me off later, and then I'm just gonna take all of my anger out on her because I got my heart broken once in the 7th grade. Yeah, it'd be the dumbest shit.
No, but so that heartbroken in the 7th grade, that's me. I was in like the 3rd grade. A girl called me ugly, and I've been harboring that anger for a long time, girl. Trust me. In 3rd grade, I remember 3rd, 4th grade. I remember that. I remember that one. She said, "You
out here on your Michael B. Jordan shit? You got called corny in the 7th grade? You not letting it go?"
You ugly. I've been called corny my whole life. I've always been corny. I've been trading Pokemon cards in high school. Like, you trade Pokemon cards, you little nerdy mother. I'm like, okay. You know what I mean?
Man.
But like I said, they harbor that type of stuff in. They harbor stuff.
They really do.
A woman or a girl said something mean to them when they were younger, and they harbor it in, and they take it out on women later on in life, or their mom was bad to them, or something like that, and they harbor it in, and they take it out on their significant others and their parents.
I personally feel like
go get help.
Go get help. Yeah, I personally feel like my ex should have just dated men. I really do, and like there's nothing wrong with that. Obviously, I'm a part of the alphabet gang. I'm a part of LGBTQI community. No hate, no shade. But this man hated women so much. It was like, go be with me. Like literally, he hated women because, well, actually, let's get your perspective on this. Paint the picture for you.
You painted the picture. So this is what so my perspective, like, just because you hate women don't mean you like men. You mean
no. But you got to I know that you not. I know you weren't trying to say that because you are part of it. Yeah, no.
But a lot of people would take that and just like, yeah, my boyfriend he just like hang with his homeboys. He hated women.
No, but this is what I mean when I said, like, so my ex, he would literally say, like, he needed to process his anger toward his mother. The anger that he harbored toward his mother caused him to hate women. Almost to the point where, like, that's why I said, like, I feel like, not saying that I know that he wasn't attracted to men, but everything that a woman did pissed him off.
Pissed him off, yes. So,
every single thing that a woman did made him so angry. And he was mad because he felt like, so his mother was in an abusive relationship when he was growing up. And because once she got out of that abusive relationship, she had to fix herself. And he felt like he felt like she neglected him. And so he just harbored all of this anger in the world to her. And so everything a woman ever did after that was always wrong, no matter what they did.
Yep. So I'm going to tell you about the story with my mama. My mama was not in an abusive relationship growing up. I love my mama. My mama was a great woman. But I harbored a lot of hatred towards my mama because my dad wasn't around. I used to blame her for him not being around.
Oh,
you see what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't even her fault. When I talked to her as an adult, because I got into therapy, and my therapist was like, just talk to your goddamn mama.
Now you can talk to her as an adult.
My therapist, I'm telling y'all, she's a little white woman, but she be talking shit. She
so is mine.
You mean?
Shout out to Mary.
Yeah. She's like, she's like, this bullshit. I'm like,
yeah.
Is it?
Is
you know,
it?
she's like, just talk to your mama. So I talked to my mama, and she told me the story about my dad, and so I was like, you know what? That made me love my mama more. You know, I was just like, and it let me release and treat women better. I was just like, I don't have any, because sometimes you don't even realize that you actually have this disdain towards women because of something you think you this image your mama put into your head. You don't even realize it, but it's true. So many people do it too. They just look at women as second-class citizens because their mom wasn't there for them. It's just a lot, you know.
Yeah, it's a lot. Really it's a lot to process, and that's where we're like, go talk to somebody about that. I
talked to my mama.
You got to work that shit out. You can't just sit on.
Nobody better you can talk to than your mama. I talked to my mama, and like we laughed and whatever. You know, I joke a lot. So my mama, she called me Monty. She's like, Monty, shut up. I was like, it's like me and your daddy was getting together on the school, but like mama said, I ain't ask you all that now.
All right, now you just
I literally said, I ain't ask you all that. I was like,
I didn't need that image.
Well, y'all even the couple, or you just giving up the cheeks? You know what I mean? This is like,
not the cheeks.
You know.
Woo, child.
You know, man.
You find out some things about your parents like you don't even want to know.
And I've read in so many books. It's like one of the worst or most empowering things that you can do as an adult is to get to know your parents as adults.
I think I've helped my dad's mental health.
Yeah.
By me getting to know who my dad is as a person.
Yeah.
In the last year and a half. In fact, actually, shout out to my dad because he watched our last podcast. He said he's super excited to see the rest. So shout out to my dad, Father V. We out here gang shit. But I feel like I've helped. I feel like I've helped my father's mental health by allowing him the space to tell me the things that he went through. Getting to know my dad as a human being, as a person, as someone outside of just my father, I feel like that gave him a space to be able to process a lot of the things and talk about a lot of things that he might not have have expressed or talked about before.
Yeah.
You know, I live in Texas. I'm from Colorado. He's still out in Colorado. And he came out here last year, and we stayed up to about 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, just talking to each other and getting to know each other. And it really helped the landscape of our relationship because he got to see the way, he got to see and hear from my perspective a lot of things that he didn't know. And like you said, I harbored a lot of anger toward my dad because here I am thinking he knew a lot of this stuff, and he really didn't know.
Yep.
And then just getting to know my dad and what he endured as a child and the things that he had to do to take care of himself and what framed his mindset on a lot of things helped me understand why my dad had to make a lot of the decisions he had to make, or why my dad made the decisions he made. Whether I agreed or disagreed with him, I have a better understanding of a better perspective of why he had to make the decisions he had to make. And that's very, very, very important with people. When you talk to people, when you get to know people, like you and I, we've been homies for like 2 years now, but we're still getting to know each other. We're still pulling back layers to each other. You know, we're still getting to know each other in so many different ways, other vulnerable ways. We talk about so many different things. Like, I call you my big brother. Like, that means a lot to me. I don't just be out here calling people that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, but even since I started, like, you've been my biggest support. Like, you're the biggest mental health. Like, you
were one of the first people I told about Australia, so it wasn't even official. I was like, I might be going to Australia.
No, like you've been, but like since we've built our relationship, like I'll notice when you off, I'm like, yo, you good? And then you'll open up to me, and you're like, all right, like actually, I'm dealing with this. You'll do the same thing, or you'll send when I'm going through my million surgeries, you'll send me shit, and I think that's important in relationships in general. You know, you've been my biggest supporter since I don't even to be honest, I don't even know how we got each other's numbers or exchange. I think we wanted to do like a skit or something together or whatever. But then since then we just been talking, and you've been like giving me pointers and like tips and like helping me grow as a creator. But you just genuinely, like, a lot of people, that's why I go so hard when people talk shit about you in my comment section. I'm like, you have no idea who this man is. Like,
they be burning me up, don't they?
Oh, they not only do they bring you up, but they tag you because they want the clout that comes with it.
They be burning. They try to burn me up. Like, I ain't even did nothing to y'all. It was like, well, this demon.
Yeah.
I was like, what did I do? I didn't know y'all.
I can't believe, as a woman who supports battered women, I cannot believe you would support a man like this.
So, but I understand. So I understand that.
But it comes back.
So that's I understand it, because they when they see the word narcissist, they automatically tied to their abusive person, and that's they put me in that role, and I get it. So I don't harbor that anger towards everybody.
But that's why I have a hard time when I'm like, no, narcissists don't change, because I'm like, I can't say that. But at the same time, it's like narcissist. But it's they want, and that's why I stress the point. That's why, like, my last 17 videos, if they wanted to, they would.
Yeah,
if they wanted to, I have a series now.
I saw the series. I saw the series. Yeah.
If they wanted to, they would. That's the difference. Is that you want to. You realize it comes back around to the whole mental health thing. It comes back around to being self-aware about where you are in your life. You identified what it was, and there's something off inside of me, and I want to fix this, because not only is it affecting everyone around me, but it's affecting me. Something's going on inside of me. And then you have the support of your wife. You have this, I mean, y'all fell out and got back together, fell out, you guys, obviously it's been up and down, but the support of you wanting to change, and I wouldn't say change, because you obviously can't rewire what's,
that's what I would say. That's what I would say. I wouldn't say the word change. I would say I just altered my behavior, because the thoughts are still there. I promise you the thoughts are still there.
Yeah.
I just have been able to slow myself down enough to react differently. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I feel like that's been the most powerful thing of my journey, is to slow myself down, be vulnerable. If y'all decide to go to therapy, don't just go to therapy to just say, hey, I went to therapy. Go to therapy and be vulnerable. Y'all, this is what I tell you. Unless you're going to tell your therapist you better go on a pop-out spree, they can't tell anybody.
Correct.
You know what I mean? Go be vulnerable and open your mouth. I told my therapist recently, I was like, I just feel like this is the safest place for me. You know, she's like, I'm glad you feel that way, because that's why you have grown so much as a person. Because you feel like you can actually open up and vent, and you can say your inner thoughts, and nobody judges you for them. She's like, I might judge you a little bit, and then she bursts out laughing. She's like, I'm gonna judge you a little bit. No, but seriously, therapy is a safe place, y'all. That's why I just I talk to men all the time. I promise you, people think I just talk to women when I do my one-on-ones over Zoom. I talk to men all the time, and we have like some of the darkest craziest conversations, and they get it. I was like, look, I'm gonna tell you how I feel about this. And they'd be like, I had one dude start crying. He's like, bro, I've never heard anybody say no shit like that, because this is exactly how I feel. And I'm like, look, because like, I hated my dad for a long time. My dad was a soft point in my life. I hated my mom and my dad. How crazy is that? You see what I'm saying? I didn't hate my mama. I just had some ill feelings towards her. I blamed him for my dad being around.
Bad feelings,
my dad, though, different story.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I look like him, and I hated him at the same time. You see what I'm saying? So it just becomes that dynamic.
That's why my mother hates me, because I'm a spitting image of my father.
So it gets to the dynamic where you see like, just like, why is he the way he is? My therapist like, why is he like that? Like, because he didn't have a normal childhood either. I can tell you, I can promise you he didn't. I was like, I can't talk to them. How am I supposed to know?
Right.
And I was at home. I went to home after therapy. I was at home on the couch. I was like, I'm supposed to know. I can't talk to him. So I got on Ancestry.com and started putting in names. I literally started put his name in, put my grandma's name in, put my mama's name in. And I didn't know my grandpa's name. I never knew his father. I was like, I didn't know my grandpa on this side of the family. I didn't know his name.
Yeah.
I know my grandma's name though. So I put in, Mary Frances Chandler, typed it in. It's like, oh, marriage certificate. Oh, I was like, oh, I know my grandpa's name now. Like, cool. He died when he was 27 years old. I was like, he died pretty young. Then like, damn, what happened? The only Ancestry.com, they give you little hints. Like hint detected. I was like, okay, hint. It was his death certificate. James Jr. Chandler died so and so, cause of death, suicide.
Oh shit!
Small gunshot caliber wound to the head.
That's how your grandfather died.
He got up at 5:30 on a Monday morning. Rolled out of bed with my grandma. He had 3 kids. Sound like me, don't it? He had a wife, 3 kids. Rolled out of bed, goes in the bathroom, and instead of throwing some water on his face, he put a bullet in his head. You see what I'm saying? And guess who found him?
Oh, that's crazy that our story is very simple. My grandfather also committed suicide.
Yeah.
My
dad found him. You said I didn't know that. I didn't know that either.
My dad didn't find it. Oh, you said, oh, okay. So your dad.
My dad found him.
Shit.
Yeah, my dad found him. So imagine being traumatized, little 7, 8-year-old little boy finding your dad in the bathroom with his fucking brains blown out. So when I found that out, I was just like,
yeah,
I get it.
Yeah,
I get it. Because like, guess what? Hey, little Terrell, we're gonna go to therapy tomorrow. Okay, got an appointment for the therapist. This is the 70s for a little black boy. Take your ass to school on Tuesday.
Right.
And
I better not see you crying about it either.
You better not cry about it either.
Right.
Bottle it up. So he became that way, and he is the way he is. My grandma probably got traumatized too. Who knows? Like I said, it's the whole family dynamic. And my therapist.
It took my dad until maybe 4 or 5 years ago for him to fully break down about my grandfather's suicide.
Learn where you come from. I was just saying, learn where you come from. That helps though.
Learning where you come from definitely does. Because with my dad, with him recently opening up about stuff, I didn't know that my grandfather was an abuser, and my grandfather abused my grandmother, and my father almost took my grandfather's life twice at the age of 6 and 8. So when you said your dad found your grandfather, you know what I'm saying? I can put into perspective the pain and the frustration and the anger and just what my father felt when he was trying to defend his mother against his father. And then my grandfather just disappeared from my dad's life when my dad was 12, I think, until I was born. So that was 20 years that my grandfather was just, you know what I'm saying? And then when I was born, my grandfather came back into my father's life. So yeah, getting to know, it's hard because it's
it's hard.
It's hard because it's
hard overall.
You shouldn't have had kids and but at the same time they did. So what are we gonna make of this situation? And I find our relationship has just blossomed and grown so much stronger because I feel like I can understand. I know where my father came from now. I know,
yes,
you know what I'm saying? So I understand. I don't agree with it. I don't agree with a lot of the decisions that were made. I don't agree with a lot of the behaviors of the things that were done, but I have a different understanding of why, certain decisions were made or why certain things were done. And it's just such a sad dynamic when you feel like a man just cannot express their emotions and the trauma. That's a lot of trauma for somebody to endure, and then just basically feel like or be told that they just have to hold that shit inside. Of course they're going to be angry. Of course they're going to have PTSD and trauma that they don't know how. Of course that's going to be that way.
Yes.
And it's crazy to think that it wouldn't be that wouldn't be the outcome.
Yeah, exactly. It's crazy to think that wouldn't be the outcome of all these situations. But like us as kids growing up, like especially me as a young male, you expect, like, you don't think about stuff like that. You just like, where my daddy at? Why he ain't listening to me? Why he ain't validated me? Why doesn't he care about what I'm doing? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So you grow up and you harbor that type of stuff. Yep. You know what I mean? And I just feel like you got to get to these dynamics where it just, you know, if I wouldn't have went to therapy, there's no way in hell I'll be where I am right now. Like, because I wouldn't have understood it, because I wouldn't have cared. I wouldn't have cared. I would have just been running around, you know, just with my typical lack of what I've been doing, and just saying, fuck it, man. Like, who cares? Like, at the end of the day, like I'm a man. I don't, and like you see a lot of men who lack father figures in their life. They say, I don't need my daddy. Fuck that nigga. You know what I mean? Fuck that dude. Not just black men. Anybody, any man. I don't need him. He wasn't around for me. I don't need him. I don't care about him. You know? I said the same thing, but that stuff right there when I was saying it came from a place of anger and hurt. Yeah. But people think it's coming from a place of strength, saying you don't need them.
No, it's coming from a place from anger and
resentment, hurt,
and resentment.
Pain.
Resentment is a word.
And like I said, my friend earlier that's be struggling with taking care of his kids, he has a lot of pain with his father. And I just, bro, I tell you this because I love you. I see what you've experienced. Everybody else think your dad is a great man. He isn't. He wasn't to you. You know, I say it. You know what I mean? I could have played the role of your daddy because the way he acts is the way I acted for a long time before I found out who I was. You know? And I was just like, we need to get to this point where a point of healing. You got to heal. You got to be better at who you are. And I don't need to go to therapy. I was like, look, bro, I'm supporting you as much as I can. But when you say you can do it on your own, I can't hear that. So, man, if you listen to this shit, you cannot do it on your own. Who gives a fuck what your homeboys think, what your girls think, whoever you dealing with? Like, cause most women, if you were treating a woman terribly, she wants you to go get fucking help. You know what I mean? Yeah. If you treat a woman horribly, women don't care about men's mental health. If you're treating a woman horribly, she gonna want you to get your shit up and go to therapy and sit in the therapist chair. Or they want you to talk to me. I talk to men. Like I said, I talk to men all the time.
Hey,
my wife used to send me your videos, and I used to hate watching your videos because you was just on point. You called me out. I was like, that's the point, though. Like, the fact that you're talking to me shows progress, but like, it can also show manipulation. I'll talk to him. You see what I'm saying? What are you going to do after this? I be calling shit out. You mean? I think people just they're just like, oh, he's just a little dude on Facebook or Instagram, TikTok. They think I'm a little dude. No, I'm just like y'all again. I'm active aggressive. I'm not passive. I'm active aggressive to men.
Yeah. You know? So I think when we think about the question of do women care about men's mental health, I think this generation of women do. I think a lot of women in this generation does. The know, millennials, Gen.
I would say a lot of women do, though.
A lot of women do. I don't think that the boomer generation and before had the ability to try and care about men's mental health because it was so stigmatized. I think now it's getting to a place where, you know, unless you listen to the Andrew Tates of the world and all these weird ass other
or the Candace Owens of the world.
Or the Candace Owens of the world.
She said that shit. She's like, my grandpa, he just bottled all his anger up. He went to work. That's what men do. They go to fucking work.
That's what
they don't vent and be vulnerable. They go to fucking work. Go to work.
Yes, or people who think like that. I
just saw that video. I was like,
she's
come
a
on,
mess.
man.
She is a mess. I think I would say a good 95% of women care about men's mental health.
Every woman that I've encountered, the million plus care about men's mental health. If they didn't care about men's mental health, I wouldn't have the platform that I have right now. Basically, mostly women. All the men could disappear. I still be over a million.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Yeah, literally. Yeah. And people, they root for me. Hey, do I get some haters on there who get mad at me? Yeah, some of them get mad. Like, but for the majority of comments, like, on my shit, like I just shared a video today about how I wasn't born a narcissist and I have to work on it and stuff like that. I got to work on being a better person. I got to work on this, work on that. That type of dynamic right there. In the comments on that video, I mean, the tag is like, I didn't ask you to be a narcissist. People, here's women, never respected a stranger more. You mean, I'm so proud of you, man. You give me hope that people can change for the better. You know, you're amazing. I admire your strength and perseverance. God bless you. You are so lovely. You know, taking accountability. God bless you. I'm so sorry you went through all that crap. You should have lived in a happy childhood. You see what I'm saying?
And then there's one that's like, fuck you, Lee.
I haven't seen that one yet. If I see it, I'll read it. You know what I mean? It's psychotherapy different than talk therapy. It's the same thing. You should be proud of yourself. I like honest people. Even if we don't jail, I always respect their honesty. You know, here's a negative one. I found one. Therapist, you need help. There's something wrong with you. As he didn't like the therapist. Oh, that's somebody else. It wasn't a negative one. Sorry.
No.
Yeah, I thought it started off negative.
Yeah, I mean, you are living proof that, you know, women do care about.
You're a good man for acknowledging it and making a better relationship for those around you. I appreciate your work. My ex-husband was diagnosed and chose to dispose of me and my children. You see what I'm saying? Those are all women. So I'm literally living proof, y'all. I know proof. For the men, get on here and stitch this and clip it. And it's like, here's a pandering ass weak man.
And I'm only here because you pandered to me. So pandering.
Yeah, I had to get a woman on here to pander for.
Yeah,
to support
I'm
me,
helping.
guys.
I'm helping you pander. Well, anyway, I think that closes up the conversation on that. I think we finally answered that question. But it was a dope conversation. I feel like we're always going to circle around to so many different things, and we'll get back to the point. But I think that this was such a profound conversation to have for people to understand that men's mental health is very, 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 very important. And I will always advocate for men's mental health. I will always advocate for men being able to express their emotions and talk about the things that they've endured and have such a huge vulnerable platform as yourself to be able to put yourself on that stage every single day and talk about what you do. You're helping so many people. And I appreciate it. We need to see more of that. We need to see more of that with other people being willing to be supportive or tell their own stories.
Yes. And that, like I said, that's always been the goal right there. Because like I said, most of the hate comments I get, honestly, most of the hate comments I get are from men that tell me I'm pandering. And I like how, when I'm just talking about mental health, and I rarely, if ever, put assign a gender or a sex to even the skits I do.
Yeah,
I'll say other parent. I would say you're their mom, you're their dad. I say you're their other parent. You should. So it's amazing. Yeah, it's amazing. You know, you need to be a better parent. And men come in the comment section like, women do this too. I'm like, when did you see me assign a gender to anybody in here?
They get the shoe was fitting. Well, that's why.
Yeah. You know this. I'm like, I saw one earlier. I didn't even respond to it. She's like, well, y'all get your panties in the bunch. I'm a man and I got custody of my kid. I'm like, man, shut up. You go on this profile, ain't no kids, ain't no nothing. It's just some trucks. I'm like, okay. I ain't respond to them. Just, okay. I just in the comments said, okay. Yeah, thank y'all for coming to this episode. Y'all know we got back to the point. It
always comes back together.
Yeah, it all fits together. Yeah, it all fits together in a good way, in a good package.
A good package. A good Baldie and the Beast package. Yeah. Well, thank you guys for tuning in to this week's episode of Baldie and the Beast podcast. Make sure you guys subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on Instagram. You guys will be able to find our individual content that we do separately at the links in our bios on wherever you find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, wherever you guys find us, you'll be able to find us separately as well. I am Nia Renee, going by Baldie.
I am Lee Hammock, also known as the Beast, Mental Illness.
We'll see y'all next time. Thank you.
Peace.